speaking to Chris and asking him about tonight's game, this game loss seemed different than the other losses. 30% from the faceoff circle, over 3 on the power play. They get 2 power play goals. Sometimes you need a loss like that because Chris said, I might be misquoting him a bit. He says every person in that room has to learn how to hate losing, and we've got to come out next game and show that we hate losing and play a full 60. Can a game like this be the impetus for that?
Well, I certainly hope it doesn't take something like this to do that. Obviously, you hope that from the minute the season starts, everybody hates losing to the point where they're going to give it their all mentally and physically. But I mean, I liked our start. We get the goal, and I just thought our whole mindset changed. It's really frustrating because I thought we were doing some good things. We get up 1-0, and the whole plays and the cross ice passes crept in again, and forcing plays and turnovers inside the offensive blue line. They get the power play goal. We get the goal at the end of the second, which is end of the first period, which is huge. We're up 2-1, and then we give up a shorthanded goal. And boy, did our bench get demoralized. I mean, you could just feel that there wasn't any life to our bench. We were lucky to get out of that period only down by 1. And obviously we had more life in the third. We had some chances in the third, but you can't, you're not going to win games like that. And, we better cure this in a hurry.
Next question comes from Colin Stevenson with Newsday. Colin, go ahead.
Dave, I know you guys have struggled a little bit at the faceoff dot most of the season, but tonight it really seemed to be a struggle. Can you put your finger on why it's been so difficult for you guys on faceoffs this season?
I don't pay attention to what you read on the NHL stats. We've actually done pretty well on faceoffs from our end of it. We watch every faceoff just so everyone understands what happens. When you see the stats, when you win if we win the draw back towards our defenseman and they happen to win a jump on one of the wingers and they touch the puck, that's credited as a loss for us. That being said, we were abysmal on faceoffs tonight. It was incredible how bad we were on draws tonight. So just to keep it in perspective, I'm not saying tonight wasn't that. It was a huge issue tonight. I think we were 30%, and it felt like we were 10%. So as far as, to me, it was just a microcosm of what had crept into our game tonight. A face-off is a battle, not only with the centerman, but the flanks and the wingers. And, too often we weren't ready to compete in these battles.
Next question comes from Vince Mercogliano with MSG Network. Vince, go ahead. Vince, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me now, Dave?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, sorry. Hey, you mentioned doing good things, and I think the feeling has been in a lot of these games that you guys have, especially defensively, it feels like you guys haven't been allowing a ton of quality scoring chances. But this game, like you mentioned, falling flat after that breakaway goal, it did feel less competitive than the last couple. Is that accurate? Did you feel that way?
100%. 100%. It was real disappointing because I thought, for the last 4 nights, we were skating and competing for the most part for 60 minutes. And that's why, as we all had talked about, not only, inside the walls of our locker room, but, in general, if you watch our team, you felt, okay, we're going to win games. We're doing the things we need to do. And tonight certainly was not the case.
Next question comes from Rick Carpinello with The Athletic. Carpy, go ahead.
I know this is probably an obvious question, but are you just not getting enough from your top 6?
Yes, that is a obvious question, and the obvious answer is yes. We're not getting enough from our top 6 for sure.
Okay, we have time for 2 more. First, Colin Stevenson. Colin, go ahead.
Hi, David. At the risk of asking you to make excuses, how much did you guys miss Phil tonight?
Maybe we missed Phil, but with guys in the lineup, we feel confident in. And if those guys play to their abilities, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about a 3-2 loss. So, it'd be nice to have Phil, but every team has injuries. I don't. No disrespect to Phil. I miss him, and I wish he was in our lineup. But we're not thinking about Phil. During the course of the game, we've got people out there we trust and have faith in, and they've got to deliver.
And final one comes from Vince Mercogliano. Vince, go ahead.
Dave, just to follow up what we had just talked about, where do you go from here? If this loss felt flat, it's 4 in a row now. It seems like in some ways things got worse tonight. Like, how do you get things better from here?
Well, it's something we're going to talk about as a staff and certainly with our captains and leadership group. It's got to stop right now. And, we'll address that here. I'm still, stewing about tonight, so we'll figure that out here in the next 48 hours.